The United States Senate is closely monitoring developments after Senator Mitch McConnell was hospitalized following what his office described as flu-like symptoms. The Kentucky Republican, who was 83 years old, checked himself into a local hospital on Monday night for evaluation. His office confirmed the hospitalization in a statement and emphasized that his medical outlook remains positive. The announcement prompted renewed attention to the health of one of the longest-serving figures in modern Senate history, while also unfolding against a broader national discussion about the age and health of lawmakers in Washington. According to a statement issued by McConnell's office, the senator sought medical attention as a precaution after experiencing symptoms over the weekend. The statement explained that the decision was made out of an abundance of caution. David Pop, a spokesman for Senator McConnell, said that the senator checked himself into the hospital for evaluation and that his prognosis is positive. The statement underscored that McConnell is receiving care and remains engaged with his professional responsibilities despite the hospitalization. The spokesman added that Senator McConnell is grateful for the care he is receiving and has remained in regular contact with his staff. The statement also noted that he is looking forward to returning to Senator's business. No additional details were provided regarding the specific nature of the symptoms beyond the description of flu-like conditions. And the statement did not indicate how long McConnell is expected to remain hospitalized. Senator McConnell, who represents Kentucky, has served in the Senate for decades and previously held the position of Senate Republican leader. His tenure in that role made him the longest-serving Senate leader in United States history. He is also among the oldest sitting members of the Senate. Last year, McConnell announced that he would retire at the end of his current term and would not seek re-election in 2026. That announcement marked a significant milestone in his political career and set a timeline for his departure from the chamber. In recent years, McConnell's health has been the subject of increased public attention. The senator has experienced several notable health incidents that have raised questions and drawn scrutiny. These concerns have included instances in which he froze on camera during public appearances, as well as injuries sustained in prior years. In December 2023, McConnell suffered a concussion. Earlier in 2019, he fractured his shoulder after tripping and falling at his home in Kentucky. These episodes have contributed to ongoing discussions about his well-being, though his office has continued to provide updates as needed. McConnell stepped down from his role as Senate Republican leader in November 2024. Since leaving that leadership position, his public posture has shifted in certain respects. He has become more willing to speak out against the Trump administration than he was during President Donald Trump's first term in office. His actions since stepping down have included several high-profile votes and public statements that have drawn attention within the Senate and beyond. Among those actions, McConnell voted against 3 of President Trump's prominent nominees. He was the only Republican senator to vote against the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. He was also one of 3 Republicans who opposed the confirmation of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. In addition to these votes, McConnell publicly criticized tariffs that are central to President Trump's economic agenda. These positions have distinguished him from many members of his party and have been closely watched as part of his post-leadership role in the Senate. The hospitalization of Senator McConnell also comes at a time when the age of lawmakers has become an increasingly prominent issue in national politics. According to a review conducted by NBC News, 24 members of Congress are 80 years old or older. Of those lawmakers, 13 have indicated plans to run for re-election. These figures have contributed to broader conversations about generational turnover, health, and longevity in federal office. Recent developments involving other senior lawmakers have further highlighted these concerns. Last week, the campaign of Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton filed paperwork indicating that she will not seek re-election. Norton, who is 88 years old, has served as the non-voting representative for the District of Columbia since 1991. Her decision followed months of pressure for her to announce her retirement. The filing marked a notable moment in the ongoing discussion about senior lawmakers and their future in public office. Concerns about the age of elected officials in Washington predate recent election cycles. These issues were already present before Democrats urged President Joe Biden to withdraw from the 2024 presidential race due to concerns about his health and age. The topic has remained a recurring theme across party lines, influencing public opinion and internal political debates. Public attitudes toward age limits for federal officials have been documented in recent research. A survey conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2023 found that a significant majority of respondents supported an age limit for federal elected officials. According to the survey, 82% of Republicans and 76% of Democrats expressed support for such a measure. The findings reflect bipartisan agreement on the issue, even as specific proposals and policies have not been detailed in the context of this report. The conversation surrounding age and health has also been shaped by recent losses within Congress. From 2020 to 2025, 14 sitting members of Congress died while in office. This included 3 members in 2024 and 3 more in 2025. By comparison, 12 members of Congress died during the entire decade from 2010 to 2019. These figures have been cited in discussions about the physical demands of public service and the realities faced by aging lawmakers. As Senator McConnell remains hospitalized for evaluation, his office has emphasized that his prognosis is positive and that he remains engaged with his work. The situation has drawn attention not only because of his stature and long career, but also because it intersects with broader national conversations about leadership, longevity, and health in government. The coming developments will be closely followed, both for updates on McConnell's condition and for what they may signal within the larger context of congressional leadership. As this story develops, attention remains focused on the circumstances surrounding Senator Mitch McConnell's hospitalization and the official information released by his office. The announcement confirmed that the senator checked himself into a local hospital on Monday night after experiencing flu-like symptoms over the weekend. The decision, according to a spokesman, was made out of an abundance of caution. No emergency circumstances were described, and the statement emphasized that the hospitalization was for evaluation rather than in response to a specific diagnosis. David Popp, a spokesman for Senator McConnell, provided the details in a formal statement. He said that after experiencing flu-like symptoms, the senator chose to seek medical evaluation at a local hospital. The statement clearly noted that McConnell's prognosis is positive. While the office did not specify the exact nature of the symptoms or any treatments being administered, it reiterated that the senator is receiving care and remains in communication with his staff. The statement also indicated that McConnell is grateful for the care he is receiving and is looking forward to returning to Senate's business. The language used by McConnell's office reflected a measured and reassuring tone. There was no indication of complications or extended concerns beyond the initial evaluation. The emphasis on a positive prognosis and continued engagement with Senate work suggested continuity rather than disruption. At the same time, the lack of additional medical detail underscored the limited scope of information being shared publicly. It's consistent with past practices regarding lawmakers' health disclosures. Senator McConnell's age has been a defining factor in public discussions about his health. At 83 years old, he is one of the oldest sitting members of the United States Senate. His long tenure has made him a central figure in modern congressional history. McConnell previously served as Senate Republican leader, a position he held longer than any other Senate leader in U.S. history. That role placed him at the center of major legislative battles, judicial confirmations, and party leadership decisions over many years. In November 2024, McConnell stepped down from his leadership position as Senate Republican leader. His departure from that role marked the end of a significant chapter in Senate leadership. Following that decision, he continued to serve as a senator, but without the formal leadership responsibilities he had held for so long. his decision to step down was followed by a shift in his public posture on certain political issues, though his role as a sitting senator remained unchanged. In 2023, McConnell announced that he would retire at the end of his term and would not seek re-election in 2026. That announcement confirmed his current term would be his last in the Senate. The decision came after years of public service and amid ongoing attention to his health. By setting a clear timeline for his departure, McConnell provided clarity about his future in public office while continuing to carry out his responsibilities during the remainder of his term. Health concerns surrounding McConnell did not begin with this most recent hospitalization. In recent years, several incidents have contributed to heightened public scrutiny. On multiple occasions, McConnell froze on camera during public appearances. Those moments prompted widespread attention and questions about his well-being. In December 2023, McConnell sustained a concussion. His office confirmed the injury at the time, adding to the record of health-related events during his later years in office. Earlier, in 2019, he fractured his shoulder after tripping and falling at his home in Kentucky. That injury required medical attention and recovery time. Together, these incidents have formed the backdrop against which the latest hospitalization is being viewed. While each event occurred at a different time and under different circumstances, they have collectively shaped public awareness of McConnell's health as he continues to serve. Despite these concerns, McConnell has remained active in Senate proceedings. Since stepping down as Senate Republican leader, he has taken positions that have drawn attention within the chamber. He has become more willing to speak publicly against the Trump administration than he was during President Donald Trump's first term. This change has been reflected both in his public statements and in his voting record. McConnell voted against 3 of President Trump's high-profile nominees. One of those votes involved Tulsi Gabbard's nomination for Director of National Intelligence. McConnell was the only Republican senator to vote against that nomination. Kay was also one of 3 Republicans who opposed the confirmation of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. These votes distinguished McConnell from most members of his party on those nominations. In addition to his votes, McConnell publicly criticized tariffs that are central to President Trump's economic agenda. Those comments placed him at odds with a key element of the administration's policy priorities. While the article does not provide further detail on the substance or timing of those criticisms, it notes them as part of his broader willingness to speak out since stepping down from leadership. The senator's hospitalization has also drawn attention because it coincides with ongoing national conversations about the age of lawmakers in Washington. According to an NBC News review cited in the article, 24 members of Congress are 80 years old or older. Of those lawmakers, 13 have indicated plans to run for re-election. These figures provide context for the discussion, but do not include specific names beyond those mentioned elsewhere in the report. Within that broader context, McConnell's situation is not isolated. Other senior lawmakers have faced questions about their future in public office. Last week, the campaign of Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton filed paperwork indicating that she will not seek re-election. Norton has served as the non-voting representative for the District of Columbia since 1991, at 88 years old. She had faced months of pressure to announce her retirement before the filing was made. The decision by Norton's campaign added another data point to the discussion about age and longevity in Congress. While each lawmaker's circumstances are different, these developments have occurred within a relatively short period of time, keeping the issue in public view. The article does not link Norton's decision directly to McConnell's hospitalization, but it presents both as part of the same broader landscape. Concerns about the age of lawmakers were present even before recent election cycles intensified the discussion. The article notes that these concerns existed prior to Democrats urging President Joe Biden to drop out of the 2024 presidential race over concerns about his health and age. That episode is referenced as an example of how age-related questions have reached the highest levels of national politics. As Senator McConnell remains under evaluation, his office has continued to emphasize stability and continuity. Statement confirming his hospitalization did not suggest any interruption to Senate operations. Beyond his temporary absence from medical evaluation, his continued contact with staff and expressed intention to return to Senate business were highlighted as key points.